So this application I'm going to show is called draw.io, which is a browser-based alternative for Microsoft Visio. So if you don't have Visio and you cannot download it to your PC, or you don't have a PC, so you have a Mac operating system, then you might want to try it. So basically just type in draw, D-R-A-I.io, and it loads this option here. So it's create a new diagram, and you want to select blank diagram. That's a default choice. You can name it something in case you want to save it, but you don't need to log in, you don't need to create a username. You can just create your work and save it as a PDF. That's the goal for the assignment as well. So for this purpose, I'm not going to create an account, but I do name the file as is process, for example. So blank diagram, I can click on it, but that's a default choice. Click create. So this is the work canvas, and you have the similar shapes, but they don't have the same name. So it's not called start event, end event, a task, or a flow. So you have the arrow there, you have the circle, the rectangle with the rounded corners, and the diamond, which is the gateway. So you can do the exact same thing. So start event is just drag the circle, add an arrow. It's kind of funky, so it doesn't look exactly what Visio does, but if you let go, it's like a 45-degree angle, so you have to actually move it around a little bit. And then you can have the first task. I'm not going to type in and do the same thing I did in the previous video, but here you can obviously just double click and type in, let's say pulling up to the ticket machine. And if you want to have a gateway or a decision point, I might just actually instead of an arrow, I might just make a copy of this. So I select Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and just throw it in here. If you want to have a decision point, let's say, do I have a pass? And of course you can make it a little bit larger if it's the text is not displaying the way you want it, and try to make it aligned, of course, like this. And again, if you want to have a text box, let's say on the arrow, because you cannot double click on the arrow the same way you can in Visio. So I'm going to put an arrow here, and if I say yes, the way I do it, I just grab this text area, so drag and put it here, and then type it, let's say yes. And unfortunately, I mean, you can move it a little bit up so it's not crossing over the arrow. So you can just move it right here on top of the arrow. To put a title here, you would just again drag text, and you know, inbound shipment if you follow the assignment. And let's make it a little bit larger. You can also edit the text. If you click on it, you can click. Here's the, oh, it's a line. I can't exactly see where the text, oh, here it is. Text editor is right here, so you can change the size, or, you know, orientation, center justified. I definitely want to make it just one row, maybe bold. There we go. And you want to make it a landscape format, not portrait. So landscape. So if you want to have a print preview, you can hit Ctrl+P or File, print, and you can have a preview how it would look like. Please try to make sure it fits on one page, because once you save it, I would like to see it on one page, so you can get them closer if it doesn't fit. I'm going to click out. So the way to save it in PDF would be, I'm sorry,